Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of For the Love of Music. As you know, one of my favorites. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. And my wonderful guest today is DeeAnn Thompson. We're going to be talking about the music, jazz, the feeling of it, how it really has governed her life and her legacy. So we're going to be talking about in 2015, years after setting aside her larger musical dreams to dedicate herself to raising a family, multi-talented singer-songwriter DeeAnn is back to create her legacy. Her latest album, It's My Time, love the title, is currently receiving national airplay with Neal Sapper. New World in Jazz and featuring 3 original songs amidst the mix of folk, pop, jazz classics is the latest manifestation of Niagara Falls and New York native renewed vision of her life. The singer had the foundation of her newly burgeoning career and her cleverly titled 2017 collection, Desperately Seeking DeeAnn, which was produced by contemporary jazz bassist Sean Aldell.
Rashawn.
Okay, I don't want to bastardize that name. And her father, popular Buffalo area jazz performer, and Frank DiMello, learned she was fully embraced in what he learned to be delivering her jazz singer to be thrilled. I'm going to actually jump ahead on here. We're going to be talking about her music, Unforgettable, Fly Me to the Moon. I've got here on the show page a beautiful rendition of Summertime, one of my all-time favorites. But she was in the middle of producing an album when unfortunately tragedy struck her. Her 23-year-old son, William Michael Tompkins, was killed in a motorcycle accident, and it definitely had an effect to put things to a stop for her for a while. Now she's back. What has influenced her? How has it influenced her? And where are we going from here? This is the important thing. Where do we go from when we hit tragedy? And music is something that brings us back to ourselves. Music is a form of expression. But I'm sure that when something like that happens, and I'm very, very sorry for your loss, a 23-year-old is way too young to be taken, but there's always something that we do get out of it, however sad it is. Was music your way of coming back from that, or was it a way of expressing from that? Let's just dive right into that right now, because here you are, in the middle of your CD, absolutely pouring yourself out, the music just coming from you, and this happens. And it can completely put a damper on everything in your life, a full stop to everything, because obviously the shock, the grieving, the redirecting, and then was the music so strong within you that it had to come back out? Welcome to the show, DeeAnn.
Thank you. And thank you for so much for having me, Sarah.
It's music is a language. It's something that speaks to us beyond words. Jazz particularly, I call it the elongated music because it just stretches us all out completely. It speaks from our soul, from our heart, from our spirit. And it doesn't matter what the words are, the music itself and the way the words come through is always a way that does that. Is this so much a part of you that you cannot deny it?
Music's been a part of me since I was 7. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I cannot deny it. And when I did take time off to raise the kids, I still was involved in music. I just I sang in folk groups in church. I sang got hired for weddings and funerals. I started teaching music pre-K to 8th grade for my kids at my kids' school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never left the music. I just changed the
Mm.
direction of while I was home raising the kids.
Priorities, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the things that music is so important to our kids, because it becomes a form of expression for them, a way
Hmm.
of being able to feel. began to understand their feelings. You know, a certain music allows them to express themselves in this way, another internalize. And so having a musician for a mum, you know, who's still practicing it, you know, is something that I think is a wonderful gift to the children because it does allow them to have that outlet that not many other people do have.
Yes. Yes, my daughter became a dancer.
Hmm.
She also was a singer. She's an actress that she doesn't know she is, an artist. So she definitely had a lot of the art. My son sang when no one was listening,
Yeah.
and he loved more of the rock, and the Iron Maiden was one of his favorite bands. He liked the older bands.
Hmm.
And so they would, yes, they definitely use music to release if they're working out, if they're dancing, if they're hanging out by the pool. Yes,
And you know, we talk about music being so important in people's lives as a form of expression, of calming, of it, you know, of uplifting, of equalizing, you know, bringing joy. You know, all of it. Music is there, and then some people, as your daughter, dance is her music. She translates the music through body, all right. And some
yes,
people, you know, kind of translate it through art. And it's tapping into that artistry, isn't it, of that expression. And everything is rhythmical. Everything that you do when you tap into that rhythm of life, that's when the artistry can really show.
yep, absolutely. And she did that through whether it be dancing or um, even she started painting, drawing, crocheting, and the artistry of just doing the constant,
Mm.
movements. She could do it so fast. And I'd say, how do you do that so fast? I started in 2020, we both learned how to crochet. She went miles ahead of me already. She makes sweaters and dresses, and I still make the scarf and the hat.
But it is a therapeutic, but you know, about life is fluid. It has to be in flow. And there's something about the crocheting is the fluidity of it is perpetually moving forward,
Yes.
perpetually, and there's something about that rhythm in there that is musical in itself.
Yes, movement in general. And I have a
Yeah,
friend that's always telling me, keep moving.
yeah,
So physically, whether you keep moving, whether you're tapping,
yes.
yoga, yes, all that movement is so important because um, just sitting, our
Mm,
body needs to, and whether it be, even if you're just moving your arms and your hands, doing your crocheting
yeah,
or playing an instrument,
yes,
or walking or whatever your choice is, movement is
yeah.
what keeps us living.
The flow of life,
Yes.
right? The flow of life. You talked about another show that you had listened to that I did, where we referred to meditation and that meditation comes in different ways. And I was
Yes.
referring to Michel Pascal, a monk who takes people into Times Square and shows them how to be the mountain amongst the chaos. And a lot of people think, well, you can only meditate in silence and calm. No, how do we bring ourselves centered into calmness amongst the chaos? And very often, music is a way of doing that, of recentering you, having you come back. That's why, you know, chanting or humming is sometimes important in the form of meditation. And as you mentioned, tapping, which is also wonderful EFT technique. But it's again all back to that kind of rhythm of coming back to core. And a true musician comes from core. That's where you
Yes.
really express yourselves.
Yeah, breathing is 90% of singing.
Mm,
And a vocalist, I play a little piano, guitar too, but being a vocalist, breathing is 90%. So not just in performing, but calming yourself down.
yeah.
Inhaling through the nose, holding it for a few seconds, and then exhaling through the mouth. That all centers me. So
Mm,
I will use what I use to go on stage. I will use it in an incident where, yeah, we're at Times Square. It's
mm,
craziness going on,
yeah.
and there's anxiety coming up, and I just do my deep breathing. And
Hmm.
what it does is it centers everything back to the core.
Yeah.
I do that before I go on stage. I
Hmm.
do it before an important meeting, even before a conversation
Hmm.
that may, you don't want any confrontation going on
Yeah.
in that conversation. So you got to be careful how you word it.
Mm,
Also have to be careful how you present yourself. So it's all, again, going back to the core. And that's what I liked about what you said, is meditating isn't about crossing my legs and holding my hands up and humming.
Yeah.
That helps too.
Yes, but
But
not the be all and the end all.
right. But if you're in the middle of Times Square
Mm.
and you can't sit in the middle of the street there because you'll get
You
walked
get run
on,
over. Yeah.
you'll get run over. You you have to find a way to do it right there wherever you are. And as I learned a lot of that and through life, I learned a
Yes.
lot of that,
Yeah.
but definitely through life and through death.
Yes. And kind of the breathing, even when you're breathing, in the rhythm of the breathing, it has its own notes, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Mm,
Absolutely. You can even like you're doing a rhythm section of it too, because you're
mm,
counting how
mhm,
long you're going to inhale from the low pitch to the high pitch, and then
mhm.
how long you're going to stay in there, and then releasing it. Yep.
So here you are putting out your album, really excited about it, being very, very creative, and of course, tragedy hits you. And nobody ever, this is obviously a parent's worst nightmare. And I don't, you know, I really do feel for you in many, many ways. Um, I've had children that have definitely pushed to the brink and fortunately come back. So, that's part of being a parent, right? Is always hoping that nothing will ever happen, but unfortunately it does. And motorcycles, and they can be dangerous things. And it's
Right.
not always the person on the bike, it's the people around the bike, and that aren't always very careful. And, that's a really hard one for anyone. Um, I've interviewed a lot of people through the 12 years that have lost their children. And apart from the grieving and the shock and the kind of trying to find meaning out of it, they have always found something that has then become a purpose around the loss of their child. Has this been that type of journey for you?
Absolutely. So in the beginning, yes, shock.
Yes.
Can't even. When we were talking about the fluidity of
Yeah.
moving, and I couldn't move.
Yes.
And I'd have to say that's where the tapping came, which I have to thank my very close friend. Um, Sue was she's a yoga instructor, and she used to say, just keep moving.
Mm.
And I was like, I can't move.
Yes.
And that was the beginning.
Hmm.
And it took a long time. But probably within a year after, I just said, I need to do something. I need to
Hmm.
keep his legacy. And
Yes.
then my producer, Rashawn O'Dowd, who you were saying his name earlier, he said, let's do a fundraiser, for the scholarship. And I said, I don't have one yet.
Mm.
So he's a doer. He
Hmm.
started the show and he put down money go to the fundraiser to the scholarship. And I was like, I need to jump on this.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like my friends pushing me of
Yes.
something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So what happened is I went up to Canisius High School. Andy DL, he's the financial institution director there, and he made it so easy. Canisius High School is where my son went for 4 years.
Hmm.
And it's a Jesuit high school for boys. And they have these mission trips they go on.
Hmm.
And they go help serve others.
Yeah, lovely.
With, whether it's in the country, our own city of Buffalo, or internationally. My son chose to go to Nicaragua.
Mm.
Now we were financially, capable of sending him there because it cost some money,
Yeah.
and we were able to send him. So he went, completely changed his life.
Hmm.
Um, Saw a whole different, like he's raised in the suburbs of Grand Island, and
Hmm.
we got a pool in the backyard. We have a yard,
Yes.
so now he's seeing that they live in a smaller area.
Hmm.
Their bathrooms out back, and some of the floors are like dirt
Hmm.
because, that's, and the water is
Yes.
so special there.
Yes.
So I decided after, um, like a year later, that's what the scholarship's going to be.
Hmm.
It's going to help other young men be able to go onto their mission trips that they are unable to afford.
Right.
Because it is a school where people believe that just, people with money that are able to get to the school, but there's a lot of people that use financial aid to go through the school.
Yeah.
So that's enough right there. To add more money to go on
Mm.
a mission trip would just
Yes. You
not be
can't. Yeah.
possible. So I've sent 2 boys so
Oh,
far. And
bravo.
we just did,
Bravo.
yeah, we just did an interview on our local station, Pete Gallivan from Channel 2 News. And we interviewed James. He was the first recipient. And he just said his life was
Yeah.
absolutely changed.
Yeah.
He's now going to start a nonprofit organization. He's going to Canisius College for the next 4 years, but he's already started a nonprofit organization where he's going to help others who need help.
Yeah.
And whether, helping them build a house or church or helping them with financial aid, whatever, he's going to help
Yes.
them with racism,
Yeah.
whatever's needed. And he felt a lot of this through that trip. So back to the purpose.
Yeah.
I don't have my son anymore. Miss him every single day. Not
Yes.
gonna lie, it's not easy.
No.
Um, but I am doing something while I'm still breathing, and
Yeah.
I'm helping. And that's what I'm doing through the scholarship. And so the music, yes, the music helps so much because it releases so much that's in you. And you help others, you touch others through, I'm told I touch others, through my voice. So if I can do that, then I'm doing my purpose.
Exactly. And, as I said, I was listening to your Summertime, which is one of my all-time favorites. That song is just something about it, right? Just something about it. And, the way, you bring that jazz and that sultriness to it. It's not, some people summertime and it's like, you're up in and out and it's like, yummy, like good old lovely chocolate mousse,
Thank you.
lovely. And and that's kind of what we want is music that helps us feel. And when you feel the song, when you feel the music, you're not speaking or singing from your lips. It is literally, you can feel the heart, the soul, and the spirit of you is expressing through your voice. And that's when we really truly feel. I love watching these talent shows, and you've got some people that are really technical and they sound great. And then you have somebody come along that maybe isn't as technical, maybe a bit pitchy, but my goodness, do they
Passion,
bring you in, right? And
the
that's what we
passion.
want. Yeah. We are desperate for connection in this world. We are
Mhm.
desperate to be heard, to be seen, to feel. And I feel that music is one of those universal languages that whether you understand the words or not, the intent behind the words when it's being sung, sung from the heart or sang from the heart, soul, and spirit,
Right.
then it's something that it translates the actual language and it ignites something inside of people.
That's your whole goal is when you're
Mm,
upstage. It's not to be a star. It's not
yeah,
to look at me, look at me.
yeah,
It's just trying to connect with others through the talent that obviously God gave me a voice. What I
mm,
do with it is my choice. It's all
yes,
free will there. But connecting with someone else in the audience and them coming up to you and telling, oh my
yeah,
goodness, you had me in tears,
yeah,
or I was laughing, or the joy you give me, and
hmm,
you give me hope. I mean, all that stuff through a song that I
yeah.
may have written through lyrics from a song that came from either my own story or somebody else's story. That's what it's all about, and if you can make some money doing it, that's cool too.
I mean, that's the point. If say it is my guilty pleasure to interview musicians because you are already connected to heart and soul and spirit. That, is the reason why you are compelled to do what you do, why you do it well. Obviously the sustainability of the career is, where we've talked about this on many musician shows, is the pivoting and the manager hat and, the business hat that you have to put on. And it's not always a hat that fits so well because it isn't as freeing and
Right,
expressive, right? But it's one for your own sustainability that one has to learn in order for you to have that stage, in order to reach those people. And I think people need to be far more supportive of your musicians and understand
right,
the gift that they're giving to the world. Because if one song has moved you that much, why
right,
aren't you in gratitude supporting?
right. Absolutely. Time to Say Goodbye was one of my
Mm,
favorite song with my son. And every time I hear that song, it's just that's what songs do. They bring you
yeah,
the memories of where that song came from.
yeah,
You remember exactly where you were,
hmm,
who you were speaking with, what mood you were in, what was going on in your life. that music can bring you there.
Yeah. Yes, it can. And it needs to be there. I mean, right now, and there's so much turmoil
Oh,
going on in the world. We need harmony. And I'm always saying that, which I'm sure you when you listen to that show, because it's something I say on every show, is that we're in discovery of what our own instrument is. What our own gift and calling is. How to perfect it. We can be the soloist. However, when we join the orchestra and each in our own strength and harmoniously come together, then we transcend. And this is kind of what music does. You have the backing of your musicians. They are helping you transcend your voice
right.
out there. And in that harmony, you are just being able, it's just that ripple effect that resonates out there. And it's going to affect everybody differently according to what it ignites inside of them.
What's going on in their
Yeah.
lives, right? So last night we just did a show at the Plaza House. It's in Buffalo. It's a little intimate setting, like a
I love those.
living room with high ceilings.
Hmm.
It's like a New York setting kind of place, little gem in Buffalo. And yeah, my musicians, killer. I love them. And they would surprise me with just little, because everyone's feeding off of everyone else.
Yes.
So if the sax player is doing something, the piano player jumps at it, or the bass player, like there, everyone's walking. And then me, I'm just loving it. So I'm
Yes.
reacting to it all.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that, that
I
that
love
is that's entunement. When you trust
it.
each other so well that
Hmm.
one can go off on that moment of tangent because they're feeling it, and you can adapt because you're
Yes.
tapping into what they're doing, and you can adjust accordingly, because that's when you really know you truly are the orchestra, so to speak.
Oh yeah, you can have stuff written and planned, but a lot of times we go outside that
Yeah.
box and because someone's doing something else and you gravitate to it. But that's what musicians were flexible.
Mm,
Um, you know, we have a slot time and then that may change.
mm,
We're flexible with that. And we're very much used to rejection.
mm.
We just have to learn how to work with the flow. We have to go with the flow is
Yes.
really what it's about.
But that's what
And
music is
it's not a
flow.
yes, and it's not an organized,
Yeah.
job, 9 to 5, and you have your benefits, and it's not like that. You know?
Which I wish that kind of it would be, because when you look at the importance, when you look at the music industry and how many trillions it brings in, yet the musicians, how much do they actually get, the performers, because it seems the industry, swallows it up. But if we look at that, how much money is made, and it really did support the musicians and upcoming musicians, and performers, and really support that, they would understand, if you invest truly in the music, this is the medicine that the world needs.
Right. Absolutely. When I used to teach pre-K to 8th grade, I found this, I would always look for all these different sources to use. And there was one where they supplied me with the movies, just clips of movies.
Hmm.
And it was to show them the scene in the movie with no music
Hmm.
or with different types of music.
Right.
And then we would discuss how we feel from
Mm.
those three different choices. Nobody liked the lack of music.
Hmm.
Everyone was like, "Oh God, that was boring. Like we need something else." The music that would fit appropriately. Some people, it's subjective. Some people like this style. Some people like that style. But most people did not like watching the movie without the music. So
Yes.
I go even further. I go further when you're in the elevator
Mm.
and you're hearing the music. When you're in the when my kids were younger, I used to escape for an hour,
Yeah.
either go to the grocery store or maybe the clothing store, but there was always music.
Hmm.
And the music was lifting.
Yes.
You get in your car and most people drive with something playing. So
Yeah.
music is everywhere, but if we took it away just
Mm.
for one day,
Hmm.
the effect that it would do to people, it would be amazing, the change.
Hmm.
And my father, he had Lewy body dementia, and my
Mm.
father was a great singer. Again, play the music for him,
Yes.
and his head would be down, and the dementia, he had hallucinations with Lewy body. It's a very terrible form of dementia, and I play the music, and his head would just lift, and then he'd start singing.
Yes.
That's what the music did.
Exactly. music is this heart and soul and spirit connection. It is the language of it. Very often we think all the intellectualists from, the chin up, and it isn't. The soul and the heart and the spirit has an intellect that is so profound and so true and so pure that actually if we come from that space and then go to the head with the feeling and the understanding, we would have that clarity and less conflict. But
Yes,
our head is constantly conflicting because we're constantly running old dialogue and patterning that's getting in the way, where our heart, soul, and spirit is saying, but I've got the answer, listen to me. Right. And it's in this song, it's in this piece of music,
absolutely.
it's in this rhythm of the wind rushing through the trees and the water lapping against the shore and the children laughing. It's here. Pay attention. The music
You know,
is within
yeah,
you.
you said all that in that other interview I watched, and it is absolutely true what you just said. And someone asked you, what do you pray to? What do you call it? And you said, whatever higher source that,
Source.
I mean, I call mine God.
Right.
So you also said, and it took me a while to figure this out, but when you pray,
Hmm.
wherever who you're praying to, and you ask for the answer, it's not going to boom, be
No,
right there.
no.
Because that's what I wanted at first. I'm like,
Uh,
okay, where's the voice? Where to hear it?
yeah.
You have to see it or hear it
Yes.
in it could be in a license plate
Yeah.
in a car.
Yeah.
My son's name is William, and I was my friends wanted to take me out on a vacation, and the place we were staying at, the name of the street was William Street.
Mm,
And then there was a hall called Williams Hall. Like
mm.
that stuff isn't coincidental.
No, there is no such thing
And
as coincidence.
no.
No.
And the other thing you said, which I was getting at, is when you pray, you have to, um, you just have to listen,
Yeah.
be patient.
Hmm.
And that's the thing is we like instant
Right.
gratification.
That's what we've been
Social media
conditioned.
is,
Hmm.
I remember when I first started using the computer, it would take an hour to load something. Now, what's taking so long? 30 seconds,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So everything's instant gratification. So when you pray, you really have to sit back and listen. And I don't even know when it comes to you. And it might
Yeah.
come to you and you might not like the answer, but
Exactly.
you have to
Mm.
follow that gut that you were
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
listened to
been
you. And I
it's
loved what you
I'm
had
glad
to
that show fed you so much. It's
say.
wonderful. That's the reason why I do them. But it's about the core,
Hmm.
right? When the
That's
core knows. How do you know? I don't know. I don't need to verify, validate, justify. I just know. And there's a way that you say it in a way where you could feel your whole body supporting you going, "Ah, I know. And that's all I need to know. Whatever I need to know from here will be revealed when it needs to be revealed. But
right,
we've come into a world where I need to know this, I need to know that. How do I do that? How do I do that? Grasshopper, take a breath, right?
right.
What do you need to know in this very second? That's the only important thing right now.
Absolutely. And again, it's just um, not expecting everything to happen right away because I believe there is a plan that we are born with some kind of
Mm.
plan.
Hmm.
But what you said on one of your interviews too, and I agree with it, is we also have free will.
Yes.
So if the plan is this is where your life's going to go, but you decide in your free will, I'm going to take this turn, I'm going this way over here
Hmm.
because that way looks a little more fun. But you have this bad feeling as you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's your gut telling you go back to the way you were going.
Yeah.
That's part of the plan on the right, but your free will is taking you over to the left, which changes a lot, of course, in your life. So yeah,
Exactly. Are we listening to the gut? That's the problem. The gut is
that's a
that,
good title for a book.
yeah.
That's your next book.
It is about listening to a gut. It is about paying attention to the signs because these signs are around us all the time. And, if we are living in the rhythm of life, right? If we're in that flow, The worst thing is stagnancy, complacency, even,
Right,
opulence and the need for power. Those are stagnant things that ferment and eat us up and, just completely turn the world upside down. When we're in flow, we're in rhythm. The music is with us all the time in some form or other. In some form or other, it's there. And if we truly listen and feel what it's trying to tell us, it doesn't always come into now you must do ba 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 ba
yeah,
ba, right? It is like I am just doing. How did I know how to do that? Oh, that's okay. I just know, right? And it goes back to that knowingness, which I do harp on a lot about because I think most of the time we're dictating and we're not allowing. When you start a new song, you're going to sing it one way. And you go, okay, that felt good, but what if I did this? What if I did that? But it's your instincts that are telling you that,
right,
oh, this feels better. Or when we bring that note up, or we take that one down, or there's more flow, or there's more this, there's more that. You allow it to grow and evolve and become. You're not dictating, you're listening.
right. And it's the same thing when you're on stage. The best band behind you is when
Mm,
everyone's listening to everyone.
yes,
And a
yes.
lot of times we get stuck in our own egos and
Hmm.
we overplay, we can oversing,
Hmm.
and we're not listening to each other. The
Right.
best band is when everyone is playing off of what everyone is playing, and we're all equal on stage. We're all just trying to elevate each other.
Yeah.
And if we're not doing it, it can cause problems,
Yes.
and the music is unbalanced.
Did you see the Elvis movie, the new one from a couple of years ago?
I did not see that yet.
Okay. I highly
I
recommend it
need to
because
see,
I
my
think that
girlfriend saw it.
yes. Now,
I need to
I do recommend it. There's a lot of things in there. I wasn't necessarily an Elvis fan, but such respect from where he came from and his influences, which was very much the African blues and jazz and everything. But and there's a wonderful scene where he's setting up the music and he didn't write it, and now I want you to bring this up and I want you to do that there. It was all in his head and he would kind of conduct it and then magic would come out of it, right? But it allowed him to go his crazy because everybody behind him was within sync and rhythm of his craziness in a sense. It backed
right,
it up and it centered it. So the craziness didn't become unhinged. It became part of his expression. And he just
right.
knew how to do that. And that is an artistry of someone that's truly listening from the inside. And another thing, which many artists do, is pray together, whether you are religious or
Oh,
not.
I did. Yes.
The praying together beforehand sets you in sync with each other's frequency.
You're out. Yeah, you all come to, we just did it last night.
Hmm.
I'm usually the one that starts it.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, guys, hands. And they all look at me
Hmm.
like, hands. And we get together. And I just said, God help us to bring our best to the audience and reach them the way we're supposed to reach them. And then at the end, it's like, have fun too.
Yes, exactly. And what it's doing is just setting everybody in the same frequency, right? When I do public speaking, I don't like big crowds. I like more intimacy. And what I do is I have people stand up, kind of stretch out, and also turn to meet the person next to them, and then three very deep breaths before they sit back down again. And what they've done is they've let go of what they've brought into the room with them,
Right.
right? They're now they're ready and centered and ready to receive. And then, then for me, it's the talk and then the interaction, which is I prefer the best. But you're doing the same type of thing by you going on stage, collective, right?
Right.
And even that pause before you start, how you very often you hear the music before the singer starts. It's just gathering people together
Mhm.
into that one vibe, ready to receive.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's, my ex used to say to me, um, we talked about teamwork and how sports are
Mm,
teamwork, right?
mm,
Of course, my son was a baseball player. My daughter did play some soccer, but she danced. And I said, dance is teamwork. Being on stage is teamwork. And he didn't understand that.
hmm.
I said, because we all have to listen to each
Yes,
other.
yes.
If you're on the baseball field, my son was a catcher, he has to pay attention to everything that's going on out
Hmm.
there. I'm the singer. I have to pay attention to what they're doing, when I'm coming in, where they're at. They have to pay attention of the, we might change the song a bit. Well, if we do, where are we going with it?
Yeah.
It's always teamwork.
But also paying attention to what's the audience vibe
Oh,
and how
always you
you're
got to
going to
work with the
change
audience.
maybe you're going to change your frequency because the vibe in the audience is different.
Absolutely. I have a set list, but I might say, we're going to skip that one. And
Yeah.
they trust that
Yeah.
I know why I'm
It's
doing
the
it.
wrong fit for the
Right.
wrong environment, which is
Right.
important. But that's, my mum was an actress and she loved the stage and she was, was like a jellyfish before she went on. I said, why do you do it? You're so anxious. And she says, the anxiety is what sets me in tune. Right. The moment I get out on that stage, the anxiety goes. But the anxiety is kind of coming together. And then she'd get out there and play her performance. But she said every night
Absolutely.
it was a different performance because it was a different audience.
Oh, it's always a different
Hmm.
performance. And the anxiety is always there. My dad used to say to me that if you don't want too much because it could hurt your
Yes.
performance, but you want a little bit
Yeah.
because it gives you that adrenaline that you
Yeah.
need to perform.
The little
So
butterflies.
there is always, yeah, there is
Yeah.
always adrenaline that's
Yeah.
going on, but it doesn't want to control your performance.
Exactly. Exactly. So you picked up from the album you were putting out and you finished it, or you went into a different direction altogether?
The album was supposed to be just standards, and we were basically close to being done.
Hmm.
And then the tragedy happened.
Hmm.
And honestly, to be honest, I didn't know if I was going to sing a note again
Yeah.
after that.
Yes.
And I couldn't listen to music actually. So
Hmm.
music can also affect you where I couldn't listen to
Yeah.
music because it made me too sad.
Yeah.
So several months went by where I didn't even listen to music. But then I went back, started singing, and finally went back with my producer, and he was giving me space and time to be able to come
To breathe.
back.
Hmm.
Yep. And I said, I really want to sing You Are My Sunshine because I sang that to him every night. So that's
Yes.
how that song got on the
Hmm.
album. And he did this beautiful rendition, soulful rendition from the Buffalo Philharmonic players, some of the string players. And he edited it so beautifully. I was just in awe
Hmm.
of his work. All I did was sing it a cappella and he took my voice.
Right.
And then A Little Romance, that was another song I put on there. And I kind of turned it into romance in the middle with the chorus, but the lyrics and the verses are all about paying homage to the many friends and
Hmm.
family that didn't stop coming over.
Yeah.
Because, in the beginning, depending on what kind of loss it is, they're there,
Yeah.
but they eventually go back to their lives. Well, with being this kind of loss, with my son only being 23, I mean, I had friends still coming to me and checking
Yeah.
in on me three
Good.
years later.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that song goes to them. And then there was a blues song I did that we started, but then we didn't finish it. So we were finishing that one too. No, actually, we finished it before the CD. We actually put it on the CD. So there's three originals on there.
Hmm.
Those weren't really planned to be on there.
Right.
Oh, there's one more, Here to Stay. It's just a love song.
Hmm.
So there's actually three originals, and You Are My Sunshine was not supposed to be on there.
Right.
And then once we finished that, we released it.
And how did you
And
feel about that? Like, it was kind of like a new birth for you.
well, at first, honestly, I felt guilty because I'm not supposed to be happy
All right.
because,
Oh, yes, you are. Let me tell you,
but that's
you
what you
are.
feel as
Yes.
a parent.
Yes.
But my son used to say to me, and first of all, I have a beautiful daughter, which
Hmm.
keeps me going.
Hmm.
She's 24 now. She just turned 24. My son used to say, Mom, no excuses, just do
Yeah.
it. And that was
Yeah.
in training because
Hmm.
he was bodybuilding and I was getting into it. And he's like, no excuses, just do it. Because I always had all these excuses. And I started using that in the music. What would William say right now?
Hmm.
He'd be like, Mom, are you kidding me? Like, what?
Yeah.
You've been singing your whole life and you're going to stop?
Exactly.
So I started using that model, and
Mm.
and I started using that with my performances, and that's how I contacted Tom Estee, who has been such a genius. with promoting and my publicist and New World and Jazz, Neal Sapper. I contacted them and I got into the getting radio airplay. And that's Tom is how I met you.
Yeah,
So I'm just driven now because
right.
that's what you would want.
And being a highly spiritual person all my life, and many a time when somebody has crossed over, they've come to me to give a message, and the message has always been the same. I am okay. I am at
Yes,
peace. I want you to know I am with you and never leave you, but I want you to be at peace. And that's always the message from a loved one. It's that they've just moved out of body. They're still spirit, right? They're still there. It's us that feel the loss because they're not there anymore. And yes, the guilt. Why them and not me, especially as a mother, right?
right,
But every child that has come to me after something like that, the message for the mother has been, I'm okay. I'll always be with you. Do not give up.
right. Absolutely. And I mean, there are so many signs that they send. And
Hmm.
again, what we talked about, if you want to listen, you pray, you listen.
Hmm.
There's so many signs they send. You
Yes.
have to be open to it. I have
Yes.
had so many signs from him. I've had so many beautiful dreams.
Mm.
And I know I'm going to be with him again.
Oh,
I
yeah.
already know.
Yes.
So meanwhile, well, I have to still be on Earth
Yeah.
because
You
now my
you
time,
had a mission and a purpose of your own contract that you had to
yeah.
fill. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just sending two young gentlemen off to Puerto Rico the last 2 years. And I'm going to be
Exactly.
sending
Many more.
the thing is to get it endowed, I needed to raise 50,000. So I
Mm.
raised 70,000 so far.
Bravo.
And it's the William Michael Tompkins Scholarship. And it's there forever.
Yeah. And look
And
at the ripple effect. Like these young men go on this, and it changes their life. It pivots them into a meaningful purpose direction. Then look at the ripple effect of that, and the ripple
right,
and the ripple and the ripple, right? So, sometimes that soul contract we signed to come here is to be short-lived, right? I'm only meant to be a flame here for so long. And as hard as it is on the loved ones that I leave behind, I'm leaving
yes.
behind an essence of me to go and grow in a different way.
Oh, his strength is how I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Because I feel like I have I've experienced the worst thing that
yeah,
could ever happen.
yeah.
Uh, I know things could be even worse.
Hmm.
It could be more losses. It could be lost to myself. But this is one of the worst things. And I get strength from him to pursue
Yes,
what God has given me. And that's
yes,
why I keep going.
yeah.
I didn't do it right away. I'm not saying I did it
And
right
you're not
away.
meant to because, it is a shock. There is the grieving. You are not the same person as you were
No,
before.
you're never, and
You've got to discover who
yeah,
you are now and, what's the driving force. Now, of course, that transition must be given because you are different. We don't want to say scarred, although there's a scar there, but you are different, right? And it's what are you going to do with it? Because I say we can't help what happens to us, but we can make it work for us.
we can control how we react
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
And I actually just wrote a song for my son, and it's called William's Song. It's not on I'm going to put it on my new CD. Um, it's out on video.
Hmm.
And my bass player, who I was working with, he helped me with the bridge of the song. But it's talking about loss, how
Hmm.
much I miss him,
Hmm.
but it also talks about how life is different now.
Yeah,
But I know in time I will be with him again.
exactly.
And
I
that's what the song talks about. So it's such a generalized song. I call it William's song, but there's nothing about any, person specifically in the song. It's talking about loss and how we have to have faith and hope that we will be there again with them.
Yes.
So
And
anyone can relate,
and anybody that's grieving a loss of any kind,
right?
it's
Anyone
y-
can relate to it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, what people don't understand is that even if you're divorcing somebody, there's a way of life that you're grieving because it's gone. If you
Yes,
lose somebody completely, then they're not there to touch and talk to anymore. But there's the biggest tragedy is the loss of self, because we are
yes,
here to be enriched and abundant and meaningful in our purpose. And if we lose that direction, we're losing our reason for being. And so very often, those cosmic two by fours come along and they're there to flatten us for us to how are we going to rise back up? Who are we
right.
going to be now?
Oh yeah, it's definitely you have to redefine who you
Yeah.
are because after like before children, it was always about me.
Yes. Yes.
I was a country singer. I was opening up for George Jones. Everything was good. And then, I had babies.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, these babies are controlling my life. What happened to me? And then I just sort of like fell into their life. And then
One
when they
does.
got
It's motherhood.
older, yeah, and I got older and I'm like, who am I?
Hmm.
But after losing my son, it really hit me like, who am I?
Yes.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm writing music, I'm writing more music, I'm recording more music, I'm going on the road more, I'm doing whatever God willing I can do
Exactly.
until my time.
Which is a long, long way away. I mean, this network is called Self-Discovery Wisdom. So you are in your own self-discovery of the wisdom that is also derived from him on your
Yes,
path, right? So he's in tandem with you, just showing you a path that perhaps if he'd been around and tried to show you, you wouldn't have paid attention to. But now that he is spirit form, you pay more attention to. So,
yeah,
you know,
you
it
do.
and I think
You
that very often is
absolutely.
a lesson for us to pay attention to the ones that are around in as human and spirit, right?
Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
you definitely learn that each day it truly is a
Yeah.
gift.
Oh gosh,
And yeah,
absolutely.
you're not promised anything for
No.
yourself or anyone else. So I
Yeah.
never like to leave anything in a bad ending. I don't like to
Mm,
do that because I don't know. Is that the last time I saw him?
yeah.
I always like to
Exactly.
leave it happy.
Make sure there's a good vibration there.
Resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And loss is a part of life, however we like it or not like it, it is,
Absolutely it is.
and one of the things that, we're going to lose ourselves somewhere along the line, whatever happens to us in life, it is kind of a redirect in whichever way it comes about. But one of the saddest things is losing yourself so completely that now you're in apathy and you don't care. And yeah,
Yes.
you went through the numb, where you didn't feel anything, you didn't want music, you didn't want anything because anything was just too painful and you weren't ready to feel that pain. But when you were, the music is something that helps you release that pain. And of course, you were talking
Right.
about tapping EFT, which is a wonderful emotional freedom technique that helps release things. And some of the best songs that we hear from people, the breakup songs, the songs of look at Adele, she's the epitome of that, right? And it's like, as you said, like William's song is going to speak to anybody that's had any form of significant loss that's
Yes.
affected their life. And it kind of becomes that anthem of don't give up. Loss
Right.
is inevitable, but how do we take what we've learned from it and the essence of that gift that it's given us to rise back up?
Right. That's exactly what's going on. And it in the beginning, yeah, it was you go into shock for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Actually, sudden death is very painful because it's shocking.
Yeah.
And not that it's easier to watch someone to die, but
There's a certain amount of preparation in knowing rather than,
there's no
yeah.
preparation for
No,
shock. And
no.
your body goes into shock and numbing for a reason.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
to protect.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it until it starts to leave.
Hmm.
So it's amazing how our bodies take care of ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Until our psyche is ready to receive,
Right.
right? Ready to be
And
switched
you're
back
right,
on again.
because you said, and then you start writing the songs because you're ready to feel the pain and release it.
Yeah.
Dancing was another thing. I could not dance for like a year
Mm, mm.
because what do you do when you dance? You're releasing,
Yes.
everything is coming out, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now I dance.
Yeah. That ready to release. And of course, once you do start releasing, you realize how much you need to release, right?
Yes,
Need to be free of it. But there's always that guardedness because you have minimized your world. right, into just that very, because everything else is just too much. And the danger, of course, is staying there because at some point you
Right,
do have to release, you do have to come out. And, you as the musician, your song was your love, your light, and you didn't feel like love and light at a time of such,
right.
destruction to your life in many ways. But for others, your songs are going to be that love and light that's going to be an answer for them on whatever
Right,
they're going through. So, you can understand the musician. I don't have the love in me right now to bring that out in voice.
right.
But for others that are singing the love you do have and they're feeling it, it opens them up to release and to embrace and to express, whatever they're going through.
And that's why we perform.
Exactly.
It's just to
Exactly.
connect with others and allow them to do that. Whether it be party music and you're dancing
Mm.
and everyone's laughing and they're twirling around, or emotional music or whatever, like BPO listening, the Buffalo Philharmonic here, like just sitting and listening to all the orchestra. Oh, it's so moving.
Whether you're a performer, a singer, a dancer, an artist, there is creativity in every one of us. And sometimes the thing that we can express the most, that is our creativity, that allows us to be, if that is interrupted through tragedy or through loss, it's like, how do I express? Because I don't want to express this pain. Right. And then it gets to a point where I can express the pain now without feeling I'm slicing and dicing everyone that
Right,
is hearing
right.
and seeing it, right? Because it's sharing the pain in a way that helps others release it without actually having people feel that they're being stabbed themselves, right? So there's a difference
Right.
there.
I even started writing a book on it.
Hmm.
I had to take a pause. I had to take a break from it because there was definitely more anger than I thought,
Yeah.
and that was coming out through my writing. But I'm going to finish the book,
Hmm.
and it just for
And
others
and the beauty,
to.
rather like a song, is just pour it out.
Mhm.
There's this thing called editing, right?
Yep.
And if there is too much anger, then you go, okay, I express that, I acknowledge that, but I can take that out. But basically, what is being poured out of you is something that needs to be said.
Needed to be poured out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I can't name the title of the one chapter. It's Shut the up. So you figure that out. And it
Fudge.
was just people would say things because they want to help you, they want to fix you, and
Hmm.
they all had good intentions.
Yeah.
So I wrote a chapter about it. I'll probably I'll re-edit that one a little.
Yeah, because it's that sometimes you just want someone just to be there.
Right.
Maybe provide food, maybe hold a hand, or maybe just be present with you and
Yeah,
just allow
that's all.
you to be, right? And that's hard. I'm one of these people that always wants to find a solution because I'm a solution-based person. But I do understand sometimes it's just I can't express to you what I'm going through right now, and I don't expect you to understand it. Can you just understand I'm going through a difficult time and just be there for me?
Validate your pain.
Yeah,
That's all we need.
yeah,
Don't try to fix it.
yeah, yeah. And be there for the progression as they come out. Know
Right.
when to say, okay, we're going out now, or we're doing this now, because
Right.
that
Oh
they're
yeah.
ready to do that. But don't. And it's like people who are in despair, depression. Do not tell them to snap out of it.
Oh, yeah, I've had some of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Had some comments.
I'll snap you out of it.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand. Despair is not something you can rationalize with a logical mind. There is no
No,
logics to it. It is a
no.
feeling where somebody's gone in and ripped your heart out, ripped your stomach out, and it is irrational. And there is no mental reasoning around it at all. It just is, and you have to do whatever you need to do in order to basically, throw your own arms around yourself and
Right.
be there. Or if you need other type of help, then get it. But there is no snapping out of it because there's
No.
nothing logical or rational about it. It's just pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the music could not be suppressed. The music had to come out of you,
Had to come out.
right? And it's back out of you and it's been there liberating. Listening to your music now compared to before, are you hearing something different within your own voice, your own delivery than before?
I hear more relaxed in the
Mm,
vocals. Um, just more, I'd have to say that's the biggest right there is the word relaxed.
hmm.
Um, more passionate, just I'm inside the song a lot more now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
More than I ever was inside the
Yes,
song.
yes.
Because
You've become it.
because I've become it because I'm living in the moment.
Yes, yes. And you
That's
look
all we
at,
have.
yeah,
I mean,
well, yeah. The gift of the present is in the now, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And if we were more present in our moments, it becomes the seeding for the next moment,
yep,
right?
absolutely.
And all we do is nurture our moment because then we're nurturing the seeding of the next moment. And so many people are busy living in the next moment and
Oh
not
yeah,
being present.
we're either living in the future or we're living in the past. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the gift of the present is in the now. And that's the whole point of it. And I think that's something that music does, is that it brings you into the present. Right.
Hmm.
You truly are feeling and listening to the music, listening to the words, allowing it. I know for me, whenever I get depression, music goes on. I shut the
Oh yeah.
world off, headphones are on. I'm listening to music, sometimes no lyrics at all, just the music. And it's actually been scientifically proven that listening to music recalibrates the frequency and your equilibrium.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
There's music I listen to at night now to help me sleep.
Hmm.
Forgot what the frequency was, 528 something.
Yeah.
I found it on Spotify. It actually brings your body more mellow to
Mm,
sleep instead of taking some kind of sleeping aid. That's the
exactly.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's finding the ways, and again back into that rhythm. If you're kind of in the rhythm, the ocean sounds or the wind sounds and things like this, it's just riding that wave, and it will take you off. And that thing is, it's whether somebody is an author, an artist, a dancer, a musician. When you're truly engaged with your art, with your gift, it is a gift to you because you've become the gift. And it's
Hmm.
only in becoming the gift that you can truly share the real abundance of what that gift is out with other people. So you can be a good performer and you love what you're doing. But when you become it,
Yep.
that's really when you are gifting others.
Yep. Stage presence is one
Yeah.
of my favorites. And yeah,
Yeah. And
just
then,
talking.
as I said, listening to your summertime, the nuances, the way you dance, the way you go with it, you feel it. I'm riding it with you. Right? You're
Yep.
taking me along that journey. I'm not just listening and it's nice. I'm traveling with you.
Oh, nice.
Right. So that, inspiration begets invitation. So when you're inspired by someone, you're invited to participate. And that's what we want. But what is your music? It is first to connect. I want to feel you. I want to feel
Right.
something inside of me. I want to travel with you in this moment because I like where we're going. Right. That's what
Right.
it's about.
It's just like reading a book, the same thing.
Exactly.
You go all over the world in
Mhm.
reading.
Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. And as we talked about this in previous show that I did on music, is that, and you talked about it, listening to movies without music, it has
Oh,
takes on a totally different meaning. The music is the other actor, is the
oh,
stage
absolutely.
presence, right? And we talked earlier about, Psycho, you
Could you
know,
imagine?
yeah.
Yeah, you got to figure it all out yourself.
Exactly. And it's I remember being in South Africa. I was in San Juan, and this is before Jaws came out, but Jaws was being advertised. We didn't have TV back then. South Africa didn't have TV, so it was on billboards and it was on the radio, and they were playing the music, rum, rum.
Yeah.
But the movie hadn't come out yet, and you just knew it was to do with a shark. And I'm out swimming out in the ocean, and I've gone quite far, and I can literally go to sleep on the water, and I'm laying on the water before going back, and I start feeling things slavering underneath me, and all of a
Oh,
sudden the shark vision came into mind, and the music's in my ear, da rum, da rum, da rum. I haven't even seen the movie yet, you know. But that's how the impact of it has, and that's why it is very much the presence of a movie, and you know your
Yeah.
songs are there to, but you're setting the stage with the music, and then the voice is taking people on a trip.
Yeah, I love to give the story behind the song that I
Mm,
wrote before I sing the song,
yeah.
and people take an interest in listening to the
Yes.
lyrics.
Yes. Exactly. And what it means to them.
Right.
That's what it means to them. And you know, when we do, you know, that a sad song, you know, the old Beatles, a sad song, make it better. You know, it's sometimes it's okay to be sad. Sometimes it's okay to be mad. Sometimes it's okay to feel the loss. Just don't get stuck there.
Right. Absolutely. That's such great advice right there. Someone said that to me in the beginning and after my son, and I was like, what is he even talking about? Because
Uh-huh.
I couldn't
Yeah.
digest any, but that's exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, again, good old piece of music. You know, sometimes, you know, I say to people, you know, let out your silly buggers. You know, just be silly. Put on the music
Yeah.
and go and be silly. Let it all out.
Being
Right?
silly is fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've got grandkids now, so I can be silly, you know, and get
Yeah.
away with it rather than just mothers being silly again.
I'm working on the computer, I'm home and
Yeah.
I'm by myself and I'll start doing silly voices. It's
Yes.
just energy.
Yes.
It's good
It
energy.
is. It is. It lightens things up, and I think sometimes
Yes.
we do take ourselves too seriously, and we need to
Right.
lighten up, you know, and
Yeah.
just enjoy life, right? Yeah.
Allow that kid in you to still be in you.
Yes. There's a kid inside every one of us that is asking us to listen, that may have
Yep.
been wounded or neglected or has an opinion, and we suppress it all the time because we think we're an adult now of higher intellect.
Right.
Balderdash, listen to the inner child,
Yep.
right? Let it free, let it speak, let it be a part of you. It will only strengthen you. So,
Yep.
so the CD, the album is out,
Yes.
and
It's called It's My Time.
mhm,
And actually, I thought I had one right here, and I don't have one in front of me. Um, it's you can go on my website, DeeAnn Music. So it's DeeAnn music.com. And it's everything's on there. How to purchase a physical copy, what social media platforms you go on to purchase it online or download it online, listen to it online. It's on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of places. And
and of
either
course
under D,
you're on Facebook, DeeAnn Music. You're on Instagram, DeeAnn
yes,
Dymo Songs, Dymo
it's
Sings,
DeMayo.
or
Yeah,
DeMayo Sings.
yeah. So either I might be under DeeAnn or DeeAnn DeMayo. That's my full name. My album
Right,
is It's My Time, DeeAnn.
right, right.
And I also have two other albums before that.
And
One
they're on your
is,
website?
yes, everything's on there.
Good, good.
Yeah, my father used to sing, and we did two duets together in my
Oh,
first
that's special. That's very, very
Fly Me to
special.
the Moon and Unforgettable.
Ah, two beautiful songs, and kind of reminds me of the Natalie Cole when she did that Nat
Oh
King
yeah,
Cole. Oh, that was gorgeous. And you know, whether your father is kind of gone in memory now, but having had those moments of being able to sing, that's with you forever. That can never be taken away. Yeah.
he is such a great singer, and he used to call me Dolly. So at the end of the song of Unforgettable, he was all nervous. He's very nervous singing, performing, and he got the headphones on, and he looks at me. He's, do we do it, Dolly? So the producer kept that line in,
Oh
so it's at
yeah.
the end of the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. Beautiful. Priceless. Absolutely priceless. And
Yes,
what a wonderful gift to you, and you know, of and honoring him, right? Which
yes,
is wonderful, and which is something we would love to do with our loved ones, is, you know, a little more honoring of our loved ones in
yes.
whatever art form or just gratitude form you can do. But what a wonderful gift. So thank you for coming back to the music world and
Oh,
bringing William with you, right? Because he's with you all the time, he's over your shoulder all the time.
and my
And
daughter Gracie's here
yeah,
on our
yeah,
with me.
exactly. And you know, you have your own daughter going through her own thing, like
Yeah.
there's always the survival, guilt. And
Yes.
am I meant to make up for the two of us now? And their own loss. And so, and things come in waves. You could be highly strong at the top of the thing and then do a nosedive for a moment, and that's
Yeah.
okay. As long as
Absolutely.
it's a nosedive to come back up and not get
Mm.
stuck there, which is, and sometimes we just need to play music or sing a song that's just going to make us bawl our
Yep.
eyes out, and that's okay, right?
Yep. It's
Definitely.
okay.
But, definitely listen to the songs that are just going to extend you, that are going to make you feel, like you can feel your chest, can feel your chest kind of coming out, like it just,
Mhm.
oh, it's lovely. And
Goosebumps.
yeah, definitely. Is that something that I felt that? And we need a
Yep.
lot more of that feeling in the world, a lot more of that feeling of I feel connected. And
Yes.
she's singing to me, she's singing for me. I'm feeling my own song kind of coming out of me, and that's what music is and the gift. So keep on singing, please.
Thank you.
Keep on producing because we need the music. And as I said, William's with you, and he's got a lot more for you to do, a lot more for
Yeah.
you, a lot more songs that he wants you to write. So just be in tuned and he will let you know. And so everybody again, remember it's DeeAnn Music, DeeAnn music.com. You'll find
Yeah.
everything there. And you don't forget to support the artists. Remember, they're a gift to us. Their music is a gift to us. They enrich us and make us abundant and fulfill us and help us express ourselves. So please make sure that we are there to support them, and not just download for free. So I would
Right.
like to close out with one of your pieces of music. So
Oh,
which piece of music are you going to give us for us to close out with?
well, you should probably play Summertime since you've been talking about it.
Exactly. Yes, I think I probably will. Definitely. So summertime we will close out with. So to everyone out there, remember, whatever obstacle, challenges, or losses come in your way, um, we are we can all overcome. We can all find our way through. We can still step into our meaningful purpose. In fact, our purpose becomes even more meaningful. And whatever gift you have, embrace it because it was given to you to share with others. And for you, DeeAnn, keep on singing because you truly are a gift and we need the music. So until,
Thank you.
oh, my pleasure. Until
Thank you
next
so much
time.
for having me, and
Oh,
thank you for what you do.
oh, I love what I do. So this, yeah, it's no hardship at all here. And William, as I said, he's there. He's I'm very, very much there. And like I've got mum. That's what it says. I've got mum. So let when we have a loss, remember we're losing the physical, we're not losing the spiritual. So let the spirit come to you in whichever way form it does. So until next time, folks, let the music prevail. Bye for now.
Summertime, and the living's easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama, she's good looking. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, take to the sky. But till that morning, ain't nothing gonna harm you. living so easy. Fish are jumping, cotton is high. Yeah, daddy's a jam, mama, she's so good looking. Shredding day, hush little baby, don't you cry. Oh, hush little baby, don't you cry. Hush little baby, don't you cry. Then it's Saturday. Hush little baby, don't you cry.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.